Hey, what's up, guys? Chris Cat. I think we're on day 6 or 7. I don't even remember anymore. 66-day challenge. I'm trying to post a video every day of stuff that I've been thinking about. And, I'm going to fast or rewind, go back in time a little bit here. Our daughter's 3.5. We had a family gathering, and one of her uncles was kind of giving her a hard time, and she wasn't really enjoying it. And Maurice's just like, hey, if you don't want that to happen, you could say no thank you. And Emmy's like, no thank you. So since that day, it's kind of been a thing where like, hey, this is kind of important, just because it is an adult doesn't mean that you need to tolerate something if you're not comfortable with it. So we started using that with our daughter. It kind of started off in a place of everybody was kind of laughing because she told her uncle that, and then it turned into a good teaching point where we should teach our kids to say things like that, because young kids are, I don't want to say they're conditioned to listen to adults, but that's kind of what they do. They have parents, they have teachers, they have other relatives and stuff that they kind of work with them and supervise them and tell them what's right and wrong. Well, what happens if they were to come across a bad apple, so to speak, or somebody that doesn't make them comfortable? Are they just going to kind of fall in line and do what the adult says? Or if they're not comfortable with something, would they say no thank you? I was at a friend's, there was a bunch of kids at this gathering recently, and there was a young girl there. There was a bunch of chaos going on in the pool with some dude probably in his 20s, and he was drinking, throwing kids around. It seemed like a lot of fun, but it also seemed a little bit uncomfortable. And there was a young girl there that was probably 5, I think, that I heard her. So I was playing with her, and, our daughter's in there, everybody's laughing, people were using squirt guns, and things were okay. Well, I hear like this young girl, in hindsight, I'm like, maybe I should have just, stepped up and said something, because I heard this young girl like whispering to herself about something. She had her head down and was like hugging her knees sitting in the pool. So I went over there and was like, hey, you okay? And then the person, she was basically whispering like, I don't want to play anymore, that type of stuff. So the person that she didn't want to play with kind of came over, and it was a little bit weird and awkward, but I just kind of sat by her, and it stayed weird and awkward, and then he kind of moved on and started doing other stuff. And at the end of the day here, I was like, man, I probably, that was a moment that we could have made. It wasn't my daughter, and I only met her one other time in my entire life, right? And it's like, you want to teach your kids to say, hey, if there's an adult, if there's a grown-up, if there's anybody out there that's making you uncomfortable, you could say, no, thank you. I don't want to play anymore. Please give me some space. Whatever the words may be, whatever you decide to use. But I think it's important to teach your kids this stuff. Just because, there's a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of bad apples out there, too, that don't understand boundaries, potentially. Well, no, not to say that they're all bad apples, but there might be some people out there that might not understand boundaries. And then there are some bad apples that know the boundaries and are probably going to cross them. So we have to get our kids comfortable saying no to grown-ups. That's the video for today. Hope you guys have a great week. Peace, everybody.